Hi everyone, welcome to Cursed 20s. My name is David and this is Cody. In today's video, we will be ranking D&D classes from what we think would be the least fun to play to the most fun.
A couple of things about our list. We have based them off of not multi-classing, only playing the one character throughout the entirety of a long-term campaign. Also, we've added Artificer. We both have always felt like they should have been a core class, and we're kind of upset that they weren't added to the new books. With that being said, Dave, what is your 13?
At number 13, I've got the Barbarian. It's kind of a basic class. There's not a lot going on for it. There's not a lot of battle mechanics. There's not a lot of roleplay opportunity. It's just kind of the bottom of the barrel.
I 100% agree with you. It is also my 13. I like it so little. In fact, I think it should just be a subclass of fighter.
That's a spicy thought. I think that's a video for another day.
A video for another day. What's your number 12?
At number 12, I've got the Fighter. In a similar vein to the Barbarian, I feel like it just doesn't have a lot going for it in terms of role playing. The battle mechanics get a little bit stale for me, especially at higher levels when there's mind-bending magic going on and you're swinging a sword 3 times. Just leaves a little bit to be desired for me.
I disagree, but we'll talk about it when I get to it on my list. For my number 12, I have Ranger. I get why some people might want to play it, but I have no desire, dude. They don't do it for me at all. They're not that useful, and if you're not in their favorite terrain, they kind of suck.
I can absolutely agree with that.
What do you have at number 11?
At number 11, I've got the Paladin. Kind of a theme, if you can sense here with my first few classes.
Yeah.
It's kind of the melee-based classes. I do think the Paladin has the most role-playing ability of these classes, and so that's why I give it the higher ranking. It's also got a little bit of magic, a little bit of utility going on for it, but overall, again, as far as fun goes, I just don't see it being the most fun.
Yeah, I get it. I understand where you're coming from. For my number 11, I have Artificer. I know we talked about them being a core fantasy. I don't get why. I really don't. I don't think their subclasses are that fun. I think a lot of what you're going for can be done with like a wizard or something like that. I just don't think that they're worth playing. What do you have for 10?
For 10, I have the Ranger. I kind of agree with what you were saying earlier. The only bonus I would give it, I like animals, and so having an animal companion is the only reason why it's above the other melee-based classes for me.
I think that that's done with a different class better. For my number 10, I have Rogue. Oh, I'm just going to go sneak around and unlock doors. Boring.
Darn right.
Boring.
Somebody's got to be the spy.
Sounds boring. Doesn't sound fun at all. Okay. Number 9. What do you have?
Number 9, I've got Warlock. Now, if this were a multi-classing list, I think Warlock might be number 1. But we said earlier, we're talking just about being a single class Warlock through a long-term campaign. So that means you're going to potentially have 3 sessions that take place over the course of 1 long rest, and you have 2 spell slots. That's really tough. I mean, you got your short rests in there, but really tough.
I have one, and I don't know how anybody. My number 9, I don't get how anybody could argue against. I'm 100% right on this, and everybody agrees. My number 9 is Bard. Honestly, I get why people would love to play them. Like, they're charismatic and they do all this like crazy stuff. I think they do too much, and I don't think that they fulfill a single fantasy good enough at all. That's my personal opinion, and I am 100%
That's
right
wild, guys. That's wild. I need some backup in the comments, please. This man's out of his mind.
What do you have at number 8?
At number 8 is my Artificer. I rank it slightly above the Warlock because of its utility. Being able to be a brewmaster, being able to be the battlesmith where you're making enchanted armors, enchanted swords, anything like that. It's so fun being able to just augment the reality that we're already living in.
Yeah, if this was a Pathfinder campaign, I think that they'd be a lot more fun to play. But we're talking specifically D&D classes.
Yeah, so. It does limit it a little bit.
Okay. For my number 8, I have Monk. I think that they're just a worst fighter.
See, I think for me, monks are more fun than powerful, but I can definitely see it. They are not strong at all, and for some people, that is not fun at all.
Yeah, yeah. What do you have?
At my number 7, I've actually got the wizard. Now I know this is kind of going to be my hot take of the list, but I feel like if we're talking full campaigns, low level wizards are really tough to play. They're a little tough to play in role playing for me in terms of like social interactions and stuff. I guess not necessarily role play, but social interactions, find it a little bit lacking. And it's not until the medium game to late game that I really feel like they get fun.
That's fair. For my number 7, right in the middle, I have Warlock. I kind of agree with you. Their utility is lacking. You get 2 spells, which are insane. You use Hex and Fireball, done. Right?
Done
and then you're just Eldritch Blasting. Yeah, then you're just Eldritch Blasting your way through it. But I think having the Patron does a lot of really cool stuff for role playing. That's why it hits middle of my list, because I think you start getting into really cool role playing ability with the rest of the classes from here on out.
I do think Warlocks might be A tier in terms of role playing.
Yeah,
it's one of the more fun ones.
Yeah. What do you have at 6?
At number 6, I've got the Sorcerer. I kind of feel like it's just a more cool wizard. It's a wizard that has meta magic, and that makes it more fun for me.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to do 2 fireballs on a turn. Show me a wizard that can do 2 fireballs on a
turn. Can't. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. What? That was your number 6?
Yes.
My number 6 is Paladin. I think that the idea of being a holy warrior is kind of fun. And they're really easy to role play for new and veteran players. Like they give you a very like direct path in how to role play, and I think it's very easy to like stay in character with them and stuff like that.
I will give you that. It is really nice having that clear laid out vows and almost your ideals.
Yeah, it's like really good. We're getting into top 5 now. What is your number 5?
Top 5, baby. My number 5 is a class I am currently playing in a campaign that you can catch here on this channel in the near future. Keep a lookout. It's Cleric.
Nice.
I really love the all-around utility that you get out of a Cleric. You can be melee focused, you can be spellcasting focused, you can be ranged, you can be up close and personal, you can be utility, you can be buff, you can be debuff, you can do a little bit of everything. You don't do any of it to the best of its ability, but you do all of it really good. The role playing, anytime you can get a deity in a D&D game, it really does lead to a lot of fun role playing, and it just opens that book so much more. So
I agree. Yeah. For my number 5, I have Wizard. I kind of disagree with you a little bit. I think they add for really fun role-playing abilities. I also think that the fantasy is Wizard. I think when you think of like, I want to be more than what I am, like a magic user. You find a book or a school that teaches you a bunch of spells, and now you're out here doing god level stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think that they fit like really. I think that they're really good to fight, because I think once you get past level 3 and you start getting to like level 5 to level 10, you start to get enough power from them and they stop being as squishy. And I think that their role playing abilities behind them are crazy. Also, the only intelligence based character in the entire game deserves a little fucking respect.
I think that might be my problem. You have to be intelligent to play a wizard, and I'm just lacking a little bit over here.
What do you have at level 4?
At number 4, I actually have a melee class. I know I said I don't like melee, but I've got the monk at number 4, and part of the reasoning for that is just their dang utility. You can do anything. You can run in, hit a guy twice, 3 times, and then just dip out, and they can't do anything about it. Being able to stun an adult large dragon because you hit it 7 times and you just stunning strike on every single one of them until it fell is so fun. There's nothing like ending an encounter with a stunning strike.
I don't know. You do 8 damage and you're just a melee character who wants to be a spellcaster with your key points.
Look, Naruto, guys. I want to be Naruto.
Okay, that's totally fair. At number 4, I have Sorcerer. Just like you being one number above Wizard, I think that they're just a cooler version of a wizard. Plus, who doesn't want to be the chosen one?
Exactly.
Right?
100%, dude. 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Top three. Top three.
Top
What
three
is your
set.
number 3?
My number 3 is Rogue. Now, I know that also kind of can be a little bit melee, but in my mind, I'm picking the classical stealthy archer rogue.
Like Skyrim, like stealth archer.
Yeah. I want to be the stealth archer. Yeah. I want to be an Aarakocra rogue who is scouting stealthily from the skies, leading my party along, picking locks, pickpocketing people, stealing stuff. It's just so fun.
It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't really do much for me, but I 100% agree with you. Like, a lot of people like that fantasy, like, archetype.
I feel like every party needs a rogue, and because of that, like, it's got to be up there in the top 3.
I get that. For my number 3, I have Druid. I think that a Druid is super fun to play. I think you have, like, who doesn't like wild shaping? Who doesn't like who doesn't want to be the nature guy too? Like, that's it lends for a lot of really cool role playing and backstory abilities. I think that they're super versatile for combat reasons and for just like exploration reasons too. They have a lot of really cool spell and abilities that they do. So I have Druid in my top 3.
I couldn't agree more. The only thing I would say is you're off by one, because at my number 2 slot is the Druid for all the same reasons. It's so fun. You can be a rat and you can sneak in, you can get information. You can be a spider and you can crawl around and get places you shouldn't. You can be a giant eagle and get your entire party across the map like it's nothing. You can do so much with druids. You can tree stride, you can talk to plants, you can talk to animals. The utility, the role playing, the exploration, all pillars of play are so fun with a druid. You cannot have a boring session with a druid.
100% agree. So for my number 2, I actually have a 1A, 1B. I could not figure out which one I liked more between cleric and fighter. I have them tied for 1. I completely disagree with you on a fighter's roleplay ability. I think behind wizard, that's what people think about when they think of fantasy. Think about all the stories about a guy who, like, village was burnt down and went on, like, a spree, or who had to overthrow a king to save the empire. Like King Arthur, fighter, right? Like, you have, like, there's just so much you can do with them, and they're one of the most, I think, versatile things you can do. You could have a sneaky fighter. You can have a strong run up and beat somebody down fighter. You can have a smart fighter. I think that they are so versatile. And clerics, for me personally, that is one of my core fantasies, is being like a chosen one from a god, right? And then having like the divine inspiration to go and do things and being completely convicted. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a good guy. There's plenty of evil gods you can devote yourself to, and they do, like you were talking about earlier, the versatile between them, between being like damage and healing, buffs, debuffs, melee, spell casting. I just think that they add for so much fun in a campaign.
So for you, they're tied. You don't really have a 2 and a 1.
It's no, it's 1A, like 1A, 1B. Yeah. Awesome. Speaking of that, what is your number 1?
My number 1 is a bard. My other character that I'm currently playing in a campaign you cannot catch on this channel in the
near future, far into it,
is a bard. And man, I've never had more fun playing as a character than being a bard. Even just in Baldur's Gate, I know it's a video game, but being a bard in that game is so much fun. Being able to lie, cheat, deceive to get your way through, being able to be a performer and start singing songs. It fills a fantasy that no other class can. It is one of a kind, and it just leads to so much shenaniganery at a table. It is, for me, the best class in D&D.
Yeah, I'll respect your opinion. Hi everyone. Thank you for watching another episode of Curse 20. Please remember to like and subscribe and hit that bell button to keep up to date with future videos. Also, keep a lookout for our future Twitch channel. Have a good night and happy rolling.